Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here with Seanzviewent.
The brash and the brazen is right here, and I will not be overtaken. Thank you for having me on the show.
No problem. It's a pleasure, and this is going to be the official interview with Seanzviewent Entertainment, and we're going to have some questions for him.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
So, what made you decide to start your channel in 2012?
Well, you know, I was a wrestling fan all my life, and I saw all these people, and this is when YouTube was actually not watered down and regulated to what it is now. And I watched wrestling all my life, and I said to myself, I'm seeing all these people on here talking about wrestling. And I said, you know what? I can do that, if not better than them, and have more passion, enthusiasm. And I said, you know what? My passion and my love for wrestling, legitimate love, because my brother got me into it. I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own channel, and I started my own channel, and here we are now. And I appreciate everything that's, been done to me, had to me, and it's been a hell of a ride up and down. But yeah, that's exactly why I created the channel back in 2012. I had channels before that, but that was the channel that really got me off the ground.
Yeah, here we are in 2019.
Yep, exactly.
So, was the idea to always talk about professional wrestling?
Well, before that, I used to just come on there and talk about, like, random movie. And this was before the Seanzviewent channel was even existed. I made another channel. It was just a random channel. I was talking about movies, DVD reviews, Blu-ray reviews when they first came out. And it really wasn't materializing. It wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't gaining traction. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start talking about wrestling. But no, it was always going to be about wrestling. Once my channel got taken off and people said, all right, this kid knows what he's talking about, and I'm not just doing it for views, that's what happened there.
Yeah, you got to find what works for you, especially something you're passionate about. Like me, wrestling has always been the thing I've been passionate about since 2008.
Yep.
22, going to college for communications.
Yep.
And
I wish you the best of luck with that, by the way.
Thanks. I'm trying to hopefully get in the wrestling business with interviewing somehow, like
Yep.
or commentary, backstage interviewing, something like that along those lines. But also, what do you think about the current WWE product?
Well, you know what? The current WWE product, you know what? In 2019, here it is. I would say to rap and rhyme, it would be Supreme, but it's not been Supreme. Last night, though, I gotta give WWE props because a lot of people come on here and they crap on the WWE and they say, oh, the WWE's watered down and the creative team sucks. Vince McMahon throws away the script, doesn't know what he's saying, doesn't know what he's. You don't know if he's gonna wake up on one side of the bed or the other side. It doesn't matter what he wakes up on. But the current product WWE, Crown Jewel is a great event. I just want to make that out there right now. In my opinion, it was a solid event. And of course with the Fiend Bray Wyatt winning. But before that, the WWE, like I say for my channel, is in a process of they're in a rebuilding phase. They got to get the right creative, they got to get the right motives, they got to get the right timing. And match, Monday Night Raw, match after match, it's just the same thing over and over again. You need more angles, you need more plots, you need more twists. I always say this, back in the Attitude Era, you never switched over. Well, when it was WCW versus WWE, maybe you would have switched over, but in general, you're watching Monday Night Raw in the Attitude Era, and there's a commercial break. You're not turning that off. You're waiting for that commercial break to watch Raw. Nowadays, if you're watching Raw and SmackDown, you ain't got nothing to look forward to because it's and they run commercials through a match. They run it through a match. I mean, back in the day, if you had a plot or an angle or a twist or a predicament, you're like, all right, I'll sit through this commercial break. But the WWE now, to grade it, just to give it a grade, 1 out of 10 or an A to a Z, or a report card from high school, I'd give it like a C- right now, the way it is, I'll tell you. But after last night, though, I got to give WWF, because everyone shits on WWE, I got to say that Crown Jewel was an excellent event.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think they're definitely in a rebuilding phase, kind of like hockey, where they're trying to fix the product because it's just so bad. It has like no feeling to it. Like back when I used to watch, like there was an identity with the product. Now it's just like repeat matches, like you said. Yep. On Raw, like the same match, rematch week after week, and it's the same like repeat storylines, and there's only like a couple intriguing storylines where back then like there would be multiple things that you'd care about. Now it's like there's only that one thing. Like on Raw this past episode, like with the Rusev and Bobby Lashley, that's like really the only intriguing thing
angle they got going on. And I'm guarantee you that's right from the mind of Paul Heyman. It's a damn good thing. And some people like this storyline. See, here's the thing: people want the Attitude Era back, they want all the ruthless aggression back, but yet they'll go on and say, oh, that was just a terrible storyline, or that was over the top, or that was controversial, but yet you're asking for Attitude Era storylines, but yet people are complaining about this Rusev and Lana thing. It might be a little bit over the top, but the Attitude Era was also over the top. top. So, and again, the WWE, I think that's what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to find their identity. But again, you got 20 people on a creative team. You know, you don't know which hand's washing the other. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who's doing what, who's doing who. Like, you don't know what's going on. It's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. And again, that's why I really truly believe that the WWE, and again, I know for a fact that the WWE probably aren't going to reach ratings of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, but Jesus Christ, they got to think outside the box.
Oh, for sure.
They got to be creative. They got to be compelling. They got to be intriguing. You know, and I know since the, you know, and I understand everyone's going to point to, all right, well, we all know Raw's ratings and SmackDown ratings aren't down only because of the product. You got streams now. You know, you got illegal stream. You got all these different things out there, but Monday Night Football is still getting a lot of ratings. So there's no excuse for all this streaming and there's this and that and the other. If you have a good product, you're going to get good ratings, and that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, so basically what you said, like, I'm going to have to totally agree, like, where they need to be creative. Like, the belts, you've seen AEW's belt. Look at WWE's belts.
No comparison.
No comparison whatsoever. Like the NWA championship or
that
the WWE
prestigious. It
championship.
looks like a belt you would want to compete for. It would look like a belt you would want to challenge and actually throw over your shoulder or wear around your waist. It really does.
They just treat the fans like they're so dumb. They always refer to the championship as a WWE championship. No, it's a WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Like, they just like to dumb down everything. Oh, it's a red belt because it's on Raw, Universal Championship.
And that's the thing about it. Yeah, that's when they ever did that, when they ever called it the Raw World Championship, the SmackDown World Championship, the women's like, are you like, I remember back in the day, see, I watched back, you know, back in like, I started watching in like 91, 92, and I remember the original Intercontinental belt. I remember when WWE had 4 belts, the tag team, the Intercontinental, the WWE title, and the, yeah, no, actually, it might have been even 3 belts, the tag team, Intercontinental, WWE title at that time. And just like there was only, it's, you know, it's oversaturated too. There's too much content in the WWE, too many pay-per-views. I mean, and now you got AEW, NWA, TNA, AAA, everything. But, you know, the thing is like, yeah, the WWE needs to find what they want to do. And you know what it is? Here's another thing I forgot to bring up. The characters. There are no characters. There's no Stone Colds. There's no Rocks, Mankind's, Undertakers, Triple H. You know, I mean, the only good character that I could legitimately say is in the WWE right now is The Fiend Bray Wyatt, the current reigning WWE Universal Champion, which I may add, Raw is without a champion right now. That could be trouble.
So, yeah, like, they also messed up with the fact that, like, they own so much rights, like, from WCW, ECW, where they could be creative keeping their championships. Like, they got rid of like the
big old belt. The big old belt, they should have kept it.
Yeah, and like we were talking about the tag team belts, like, remember the tag team belts they used to have, and then they got rid of them, and now it's like just basically the Raw tag team championship.
And it looks like a penny. Like, they look terrible. I mean, like I said, if you go back, they should bring back all the original belts. That's what they should do. They should bring back all the original belts. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any real belt I actually like the look of it. I mean, I have the WWE World Title at my house when I do my videos, and that's probably the only. And that's the WWE title. That's not the Raw title. That's not the SmackDown title. It's the WWE Championship. I think that's like the last good championship that they had.
Yeah, they need to bring back the one, the classic WWE Championship.
The Winged Eagle belt, that would be awesome. And I have that belt at home. I mean, and you know what? The thing about it is, I know Vince McMahon hates the word belt, and that's why they use title or championship, because back in the day, they used to always refer to it as the WWF Championship belt. And Vince McMahon, I hate that term belt. We're going to use championship, damn it. We're going to use title. And, yeah, no, I mean, it is really funny, though, that you look at NWA and TNA and AEW, and their belts are so much more credible and legitimate, and they're actually not a sore to the eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just like you're the best wrestling company in the world, and you have zero creativity. Like,
even with belts, it's terrible.
With belts, like red and blue, like, really, like, you really think of your audience as being that dumb? That's why the ratings are reflecting the way they do.
Exactly. And there's got to come a point where you got to change. You got to change the product. That's all it is.
And why haven't they brought back Halloween Havoc? Like, Crown Jewel takes place on Halloween.
On Halloween night, no less.
And WWE, if they would bring back Halloween Havoc, like, they've brought back Clash of Champions, Starrcade, but not really in the way that fans wanted.
It's a house show. It's a damn live event. Like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, you're right. They have all the rights. You just brought up the point earlier. Good point on your end. WWE has all the rights to WCW, and they're not even utilizing WCW correctly. How can you not do that? Imagine if AEW could use WCW or ECW.
ECW, I know.
Or NWA Crockett Promotions back in the day. I'm talking in the 80s. Like, go back to what worked.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they need to do. They should have the classic WWE Championship that Hulk Hogan used. They also had like the superstars pose with them like a while back.
See, that was cool. That's what it should be. They look good.
Yeah, they looked good. It looked great.
Good.
Imagine if they were able to use those belts like on Raw and on SmackDown, but they got everything wrong. They're not creative. They have zero creativity. It's crazy. It's like mind-blowing how the company could just be that.
I would say sometimes I use the joke, they actually have a creative team, but they don't use the creative team. Because, here's the thing about it. We all crap on the creative team, but then again, it's got to go through Vince McMahon. So maybe some of these creative team have good ideas, but then Vince looks at it and says, we're not going to use this today. This looks terrible. Rip it up, throw it in the garbage. We're going to rewrite the show as Raw's on the air. Or they rewrite the show as SmackDown's on the air. Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I know Vince McMahon has no fear with that because, he's very competitive. That's the thing about Vince. I think he's lost that competitive edge. But you see, now he's going to get that back now because AEW's in the fold now. I know Vince is worried about ROH. He's not worried about TNA. He's not worried about AAA, NJPW. He's not worried about any of those promotions. But Vince McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, as we know it, we got NXT, who is still, even with the baseball game that just happened, the World Series. I just saw the ratings yesterday. AEW beat NXT for a 4th or 5th week consecutive in a week. In a row. And SmackDown. And they beat SmackDown on a replay, off of a replay.
Imagine if Fox signed AEW instead of SmackDown, like $1 billion for 5 years for SmackDown.
I mean, I know this is how it started. Everyone, WCW beat WWE for 83 weeks in a row with Eric Bischoff. They're back in Attitude Era, and I'll tell you what, man. If Vince McMahon doesn't start doing something different and start going in another direction, you're gonna see one of the most dramatic declines of all time. I mean, back when I watched in '93, '92, there were some great characters. I loved Razor Ramon. I loved all the characters, but they had such over-the-top, like, stupid characters, too, like Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. Doink the Clown was actually a good heel, though. I'll give him that. And then you had Duke the Dumpster Droese. You had a dentist. It was ridiculous. And I can almost say that was almost better than what we're getting today, At least they were putting some effort and thought into it.
So I want to get your thoughts on AEW with this past episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite, which I actually attended a show in Boston with Joe Cronin.
That must have been Cronin. I all know about Cronin. Yeah.
Yep. We'll talk about him soon. But
yeah.
So AEW this past week on Dynamite, I mean, it was awesome going to the show, interviewing Joe Cronin. But this past week, it was a contract signing between Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and that felt awesome.
Old school
WCW like.
NWA, WCW. Yeah, I agree.
It was like the limousines like coming out and just felt important, special. WWE needs to take lessons from that.
Isn't it terrible that we have to sit here and say that the WWE has to take lessons from AEW? I mean, it's no, I agree that. You know what? Not only was that a good segment, that was probably the best AEW show. And the only reason I didn't do a video on that night was because everyone knows there's been all kinds of storms, hurricanes, nor'easters rolling right through. We had floods and everything. But I did watch that show that night, and I wish I could have live streamed that one because that was one for the ages. That is a show that you should mold yourself after. That's a show that you look at and say, wow, how are we going to do better than that now? Again, Crown Jewel was a good show, but tonight's SmackDown. This is show to show. How is SmackDown going to one up AEW? Because now that's what it's about now for the WWE. Because they're losing ratings, they're losing traction, they're losing a lot of direction. How are they going to counter AEW? With like as you said, was a very special show, and that contract signing made you. And this is the thing. That made you want to order the pay-per-view.
Made you invest.
It made you want to order it. And I'm not talking about streaming it illegally. I'm talking about legitimately paying money to watch that damn thing because they deserve it. They deserve every dollar because they're giving you everything they have. And they're making it creative. They're making it compelling. They're making it intriguing. They're actually making you think, all right, well, what's going to... Like Monday Night Raw back in the day. What's going to happen next?
Exactly. Week-to-week storylines that keep you tuning in.
And it's a 2-hour show, so the flow's a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And me, as a wrestling fan, I thought, like, when Raw went to 3 hours, I'm like, damn, we're gonna get 3 hours of wrestling. And
That's all it is, wrestling. No storylines, no angles, no backs, no nothing. And if they do it, it's very few and far between.
But look at what they've done with that. Like,
And it was supposed to give more superstars more opportunities. Oh, it's this guy's going to get this guy's going to get that. We're going to showcase more talent than ever before. And then all of a sudden, like Brock Lesnar, like when he was on Raw, they used him in one segment. Back in the day, in the Attitude Era, when you had Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, you would see him in multiple segments.
Yep.
Why would they only... And they're paying Brock Lesnar all these millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and they use him in one segment for 15 minutes. Are you kidding?
so, and also on AEW, they let Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose in WWE.
Which some people say I look like him for some reason. I don't know in the comment section. People say I look a little bit similar to him. I don't get it, but thank you very much for that.
They let him cut a promo where he just went off, and that to me reminded me of classic WWF Attitude Era Raw is War, Stone Cold Steve Austin, just unfiltered promo.
Unfiltered, exactly. You took the words right up. Unfiltered, not watered down, not scripted, not thinking about what do I got to say. Not even bullet points. You just go out there, you be organic, you be natural. You go out there and you go with what you go with. You go with what you know, you go with what you feel in your heart, in your instincts. And I'll tell you what, I know there's some wrestlers in WWE. Listen, I know not everybody can cut a promo, and I understand that. But that's why you need to bring managers back.
Yep.
Managers. They were the mouthpiece.
And WWE gets rid of them all the time. Remember, like, Alberto Del Rio? They got rid of his...
Yeah, Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yep.
He would come out and he would build that guy up. I mean, you thought that guy was the greatest champion in the world. I mean, but, it's a lost art, and I think AEW, I mean, I've like I said, I've watched not every episode fully through, but the last one I did. That's the thing, AEW, I don't think they got many managers either. Not that they need them right now because they're doing good, as it is. But they might have a couple of managers, but like WWE, they only have Paul Heyman. That's it. Yeah. And Paul Heyman, I love Paul Heyman. He's a good promo guy, but ever since he's been with Brock Lesnar, it's kind of like the same shtick over and over. It's the same, my client, Brock Lesnar. Like, Paul Heyman is a mastermind. He's a manipulator. He knows what to say. He knows what to do. He's in the moment. But, no, that's another thing that WWE needs to bring back is heel managers.
What was the team that had Paul Ellering, and then they got rid of him?
Oh yeah, that was AOP and NXT,
yeah,
and now Paul Ellering was originally with the Legion of Doom back in the time, back when I was a kid, and Paul Ellering, he was one of the greatest managers in wrestling. They got rid of him. He's too old.
They were so
too
good
old.
in NXT, the tag team, Authors of Pain, and then they get promoted to the main roster. It's just a demotion. Like, they're getting demoted, and.
It's like going from the Paw Sox to the Red Sox,
yeah.
But only at least you level up when you go from NXT to WWE. You think you're going somewhere, and then they bury you. You get destroyed
instantly. Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura,
it's terrible.
Austin Aries, 205 Live.
No wonder why Finn Balor's back on NXT again. No wonder he's back on NXT again. Samoa Joe. I mean, Kevin Owens has done pretty good. I mean, I guess after last night, the best person we could say has benefited from that now is Bray Wyatt. Before that, Bray Wyatt was getting destroyed. I mean, there was no way around it. He was just getting absolutely obliterated in storylines. So, I mean, no wonder why people would want to stay in NXT and not go to... I mean, look at... Mike Bennett. Look at him, poor guy. Mike Kanellis, Mike Bennett. I mean, like... I think he asked for his release, and I don't think the WWE is going to grant it to him.
Yeah, I know. They're holding him against his will. They're holding him hostage. Like,
I'm telling you, I live 5 minutes from the PAL Hall, for Top Rope Promotions. I watched this guy when I was, 12, 13 years old, coming through the ranks, busting his ass, bleeding, sweating, everything, injuries, fighting his demons, everything, right? His addictions. He makes it to the WWE, he overcomes everything, and then I feel so terrible. I mean, he wants out because he understands what we see and what we know, what the WWE has been regulated to. It's terrible. I mean, he already knows there's going to be no script. I mean, look at that storyline with Maria. I mean, saying that, this is the baby daddy, that's the baby daddy, you're not man enough.
Yeah.
Making him look like
a cock storyline.
The guy literally has the look. He's got the body. He's got the mic work. He's got the positivity. He's got the energy. And they just, Mike Bennett, you know what? We'll see you later, guy. We'll see you. Well, you know what? AEW will know what to do with him.
His wife was like the man of the relationship. It was ridiculous.
I mean, that's nothing on Maria. Nothing on Maria Kanellis. Listen, she's hot. She's a good talent. I mean, and again, when I talk negative about the product, I just want to let everyone know it's not the wrestlers. I know it's the backstage.
Oh, yeah.
It's the creative. It's Vince. It's the higher ups. I have nothing against these talents. Nothing against them at all. It's just the writing's on the wall.
They totally misutilized him. It's mind-blowing. Like, Mike Bennett in Impact Wrestling, to go from, like, being there and just being on top of the world, like his theme when he would come out, like you were invested in him. Him and Maria just. And then he goes to WWE, instantly buried, taking the last name of his wife. Like, that was instant burial. Like, I knew right from there, like, this is not going to be good.
Well, and not only that, but what about his theme song?
Oh my, yeah. But
right off the theme song, you're buried. Right there, you're going to be buried right down the hill. It's terrible. 10 feet under. I would have left right after the theme song hit. I would have went backstage and said, Vince, I want my walking papers. I'm out of here.
just let the superstars be themselves.
An extension of themselves. You know?
You want to talk about burial also. What about what they've done to EC3? Just fighting for the 24/7 championship, and what they've done to that guy. He got destroyed by Rusev on Raw a couple weeks ago. Just total burial. This guy is a talented wrestler. Could be one of the top in the company.
He could be a face. Look at the guy. I mean, let's be honest. The guy's in great shape. He's in excellent shape. He could be a face of a GQ magazine, for God's sakes. And you're out here burying him. I mean, he could be like the next John Cena. He could be the next John Cena.
What I'm saying here.
And EC3, I mean, I remember when he was in WWE several years ago, and they buried him then. And now I think they're even burying him more now. Like, how do you do that to somebody that looks like that? You put all that passion in the gym. You put all that intrigue. You put everything you have into your character and trying to get yourself over. And then you just get instantly buried. Like, this guy must be saying, why did I do this? Why did I make this mistake? Because you think when you go to WWE, you're going to the top of the food chain. You're at the top of a level that you've never been before. And then all of a sudden, the WWE pulls the rug right from underneath you. And it's all over, and then the rest is history, sadly, for all these competitors that bust their ass just to get, well, jobbed out in the end.
Yeah, so I just went to that wrestling, like, training in Fall
Top
River.
rope,
Yeah,
yep.
top
PAL
rope.
Hall, shout out, Fall River, Mass.
Top rope in Fall River, and that's where Mike Bennett went.
Yeah.
And they said right there, we're going to teach you the just real, like, wrestling that is just hard-hitting.
Pure wrestling.
Just,
pure, straight-up wrestling.
And not that WWE watered-down TV style.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why he's asking for his release, because he's barely wrestling. He's a wrestler. He wants to do this. And he gets to WWE, commercial break here, commercial break here. They're paid actors. Like, they're not getting to do what they love. The wrestling WWE is just changed so much. I remember when they used to throw punches, Irish whip them into the ropes, like they would take a beating and it would look real on television. I seen a video of Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt at a house show, and it seemed like Seth Rollins wasn't even throwing like good punches, and that's nothing like Chris Jericho or like Chris Benoit, Christian, like all these.
Wait a minute, you just saw someone got blacklisted. Wait a minute, I never heard that. Wait, I never heard that guy's name before. Wait a minute, viewers, have you ever heard? I don't know who you're talking about, but no, going off this, I know what you're saying. No, and I can see why the WWE would dull it down a little bit for live events, because obviously it's not televised. So I know on live events they don't really go truly all out, and I understand that because they got to save their bodies for Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views when it's televised, and I get that and I understand that. So I can see why. That's why when you go to a live event, they're more interactive. Like, they'll come up to you, they'll talk to you, they'll sign an autograph, they'll take a picture. But I understand why the WWE would be a little dulled down, when they do live events, because they don't want to go all out. And the funny part about it is though, and that's what's not funny, but just to put into terms, these wrestlers are actually getting injured more at live events than they are in WWE Raw and SmackDown. So it begs the question, should there be less live events?
Or none at all, like
or none
AEW.
At all? Because AEW, they're on the road. They only have that one show, right? You might know a little bit more than I do. And the pay-per-views. That's it. And they're surviving and they're thriving off of that.
AEW Dark also.
AEW Dark, yes, and that's actually another incredible. That's and I'm only saying it's incredible. I haven't actually watched the damn thing yet. I've heard the reviews. I've heard from you. I've heard from Cronin. The show is just impeccable. It's a show that it's actually better than Raw, and which is not really hard to do in 2019.
So, also, I got another question. Have you ever thought of potentially getting into the wrestling business yourself as a commentator or anything to do with wrestling?
Well, of course, being a wrestling fan as long as I have been, and it's always been a dream for me to be either a wrestler or a mouthpiece, a manager. A manager. I always said, and can you imagine the audacity for that to do that? But to interrupt the Brash and the Brazen right here live in Bristol, Rhode Island.
Prolific,
the most prolific, consistent, and dedicated uploads in YouTube's history. To do something like that, it's a mockery.
No
respect around here. I thought it was a nice little town around here, but I'm just kidding. But no. I always, everyone's like, oh, Sean, you should be a manager or you should be a commentator. And then, of course, trolls in the comments, oh, you should be a referee. No. I mean, if I really put mind to it and I put the passion into it, it's just that, once my YouTube kicked off, it just went into full gear, full throttle, and I've never looked back since then. So I mean, it's always on my mind. Should I be a wrestler? Should I be a commentator? Should I be a manager? Of course, it's always been on my mind to be in the business. But the thing about it is like it just once I have so much invested and so much time and money and passion into my YouTube channel that to go to wrestling right now, and it wouldn't be the same social interaction with my viewers and subscribers as if I were wrestling. I wouldn't have the time to talk to my viewers and my subscribers and my fans, because my fans are the foundation of Seanzview Entertainment. If it weren't for them, I would be a nobody and a nothing. I just want to let everyone know that right now, that I'm not this guy that people think I have this big head and like, oh, I'm all about me. No, it's all about the viewers and the subscribers. And but yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's always been on my mind to be either a wrestler or even on the creative team, someone creative.
Anyone, I could be there.
A 5-year-old could do it in this day and age. It's pretty sad, but but Vince McMahon would probably just take the thing and just rip it up.
Oh yeah, yeah, he would just get so.
You're fired.
Yeah, instantly. You go against what he wants and.
Like what my question is, if he does that, why do they even have a goddamn creating team? Why do they have a creative team and he shoots you down?
You just got to be a yes man to stay hired. And
no wonder why Eric Bischoff left in 5 weeks.
Yeah, I know. He probably was telling him everything that was wrong, and he's like,
we're not going with that.
Yeah.
This ain't WCW, brother.
And so to go from that, like, what WWE's doing, like, with their creative, I mean, anyone can do it. And the fact is, like, they're not staying up to date with what the fans want. They're going against the fans, and they're fighting the fans. Hell in a Cell. Come on. The fans were left booing.
A Hell in a Cell match ends the way it did.
Like disqualification, that's the whole foundation of the match.
That I'll tell you what, if they ever have another Hell in a Cell match ever again, I'll tell you, as soon as they made that its own pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell, I already knew it was going to dwell, and it was going to be swell, and it was going to be just bad. It was going to be absolutely terrible. It was going to be atrocious. And this last Hell in a Cell match, I hope I never see another Hell in a Cell match after the way that ended, and especially when they changed it red. Like, red? Like, are you kidding me? Come on.
The fans were left booing, chanting AEW. And so, also, let me get your thoughts on this. So, WWE's product, like, you know how it's gotten so bad recently? But it hasn't really always been like that.
No, not at all.
No, and so, like, what do you think, like, why are they doing this? Is it just because it's PG and they're just trying to make it a family-orientated product, and like they're trying to like go against the fans, like the wild card rule, like remember he thought he was the smartest idea, and look at what it turned out to be. Nothing they're doing seems to like
work. You put idea to paper, you put pen to paper, and it might look good, but it doesn't sound too good. And then when you actually put it out there, it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't look too good. And what the original question was, what I just want to reiterate, was the original question you said it was why is the WWE so terrible right now? Like,
I was just asking you that,
yeah,
but that's not on here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where, I mean, I think they don't think outside the box. They're in this bubble, and they're not popping outside that bubble, and they're not being what they used to be. Again, like I said, they're still not, even though, and again, we got to get it straight that, yeah, AEW is winning in the ratings war, and yeah, they beat SmackDown off of a replay and that, but what it really comes down to is if they start beating Raw when they're on a Wednesday night and Raw's on a Monday night, when they start being Raw in the ratings, then the WWE still doesn't look at AEW as anything. Because remember, WCW beat WWE many weeks in a row back in the day for the Monday Night Wars. And Vince McMahon ultimately still won. He put WCW out of business. He put ECW out of business. He made TNA look pretty inferior. So the WWE, like I said, they're not masterful. And Vince McMahon's getting older now. I think he's getting too old. And I think his ideas are just not working in the WWE.
My idea, if I was like in charge of WWE, like I'd say I got signed, I would go head to head with AEW. Like, I would make Raw as War, like bring that back, the logos, update the whole presentation of it, and then I would go back to like those type of storylines, make it an intriguing, follow week to week storylines, and just make it interesting again. And I think if they did that, like the Raw Zone, Raw's War, just
it used to be Raw and then War Zone in the second hour. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? You know. And again, I don't take anything away from Vince McMahon because that man works around the clock, a hard worker. The guy's, he's obviously all about the business. You know, he puts everything to it. But there comes a time where you're like, all right, you know, and everyone, you know, here's the other perception. You know, everyone thinks, and yeah, Triple H is a creative genius, and he's you know built up his baby, as he calls it, NXT, and. You know, it's NXT has been a great proving ground for professional wrestlers, but as soon as they get taken out of Triple H's predicament in his mindset, they go to Vince McMahon's Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and then the whole thing changes. So, you know, when Triple H takes over the whole business, you know, everyone thinks that Triple H has the answers to everything, though, but I'm sure Triple H has his days, and he has his ideas that, you know, are maybe a little bit blown out of proportion, or maybe not that great, or maybe not that good. Because to be honest, I mean, we're just getting fed secondhand information. We're reading the dirt sheets, we're reading the websites, the Meltzers, the Kellers, the Wades, all them people, No DQ and Wrestling Inc. and all that. And I mean, some of it's true and some of it's not true. But the bottom line is you know, some people say, oh, that's taken away from ratings too, is rumors and news. And WWE, it's exposed the company. The company's been exposed for years and years and years, and they did fine. But now with the WWE being watered down and dulled down to a spot where it's like, hell, what the hell's going to happen next? Well, that's the question. We don't ask what's going to happen next because the WWE is in a position right now where it's not must see.
So I want to also talk about something quick. I've been to a lot of wrestling live events, and I've been to Raw in Boston, the one where The Rock was there throwing John Cena's merch into.
That was an epic Raw. I was there too.
Boston
Awesome. That was a creative Raw.
Yeah, I was gonna see if you were at that also.
Yep.
I was also at the Raw in Providence where Daniel Bryan had one of the loudest crowds.
Steel cage, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was there. Front row. Yep.
Turning on the Wyatt family, one of the loudest.
Dunkin' Donut Center.
Dunkin' Donut
Used to be
Center.
Providence Civic Center, which is a hell of a lot better than the Dunkin' Donut Center, but you know.
One of the loudest crowd reactions ever.
I think in Raw history.
In Raw history.
I think it even elevated over Austin's for one night.
Yeah.
For one night only.
The Mick Foley championship win may have been like.
The Elite.
It may have been even better, but there's like debate between that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that was a different era too. It was a different era.
But
The fans are so much rowdy back. That's the thing. The fans nowadays, they just sit there like this.
on their phones and just.
Like, the fans are so watered. Like, even the fans, like back in the day in the Attitude Era, you would see all the signs in the crowd.
And now there's none of that.
Now you don't
Rocky,
see any of that.
Rock,
You don't see no signs.
316.
Not even the fans are into the product.
Hulkamania.
I think they're just going there just because they've been watching it for years and years. It's just out of habit.
Yeah, it's out of habit for sure. There's nothing else going on, so they're like, let's go to Raw. But
Let's go to SmackDown for the night. Let's have a drink. You know, it's like.
But like, it's so bad. So I went to a Raw recently in the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and it was just so bad. It was the episode where Roman Reigns was actually injured, and so he couldn't compete. And Jason Jordan, this is when they were pushing him hardcore, and it was terrible. The crowd was chanting like, "This match sucks, boring," and I honestly wanted to leave. And if I could have got a refund, I literally would have got one. It was the most boring experience of my life at a wrestling event.
No, I'm sure I was at that same one. Now Jordan was in a match. He was replacing Roman Reigns. You're saying?
Yeah, he was.
I'm sure I was at that one. I
Tag
can't.
teaming with
Seth Rollins.
I think.
Oh yeah, because they were the tag team champions.
Yeah.
They're trying to push that whole vendetta.
And he might have wrestled twice too in the night or something.
Oh God, you put him on a match twice.
I honestly don't even remember most of it, but
Yeah, that's how memorable it was, right?
And I don't want to remember it to begin with. I want to forget that whole.
That was a nightmare, right?
It was a nightmare.
You don't want to wake up from that one ever again.
Being in the crowd, the worst experience. Like the fact that Roman Reigns was out because he was sick at the time.
Oh, he had the cancer. Is that when he had the?
No,
that was before that.
Yeah, it was something else.
All right.
He was sick with.
Yep.
A lot of the superstars were getting sick at the time.
Oh yeah, I think they were overseas or something. They had something to eat something bad. And yes, I know. I remember.
Between the rosters.
Yeah.
So he couldn't miss the show, and I actually wish Roman Reigns was actually healthy. A lot of people hate him, but he would have added to something on that roster.
He would have, just like John. Everyone complains about John Cena. You know what? The WWE's not been the same since John Cena hasn't been here.
No.
The crowd, the reaction, the vibe, the feeling, the aura, not the same.
Yeah, it's my favorite when he comes out and they're like John Cena.
Yeah,
that's awesome, and it's definitely not the same without him. But the whole vibe of the show went
downhill. It just went downhill because again, no characters.
Yeah.
The creative team. It's just. And you know, I don't want to talk bad about the WWE. I'm watching the WWE since I was in diapers. Do you think I'd want to talk bad about the WWE?
I love wrestling.
I'm just calling it as I see it.
AEW is doing what's right, but the whole point of me bringing up about wrestling and attending events is I was going to go to the show that you went, but you're a part of Raw history forever, and someone else called you out on that.
CM Punk contract signing. That was actually one of the most memorable Raws I've ever been to.
Oh, I was talking about the fact that you were in the crowd with Dean Ambrose.
Oh, the Dean Ambrose one. Well, there was a CM Punk one in 11, and then Dean Ambrose.
You were in the crowd.
Yeah, Seanzviewent signed during the contract signing.
During
And that was Boston, and then this was Providence. Yeah, and then Moxley Ambrose goes right by me.
Yeah.
I am a part of Raw history, and he turned heel that night on Seth Rollins. That was another great Raw.
Boston, right?
The CM Punk was Boston in 2011, and then when the contract signed with Vince McMahon, when he was going to threaten to leave the company, and then John Moxley, Dean Ambrose walks right by me.
I could have been at that show, not far from the Dunkin' Donuts Center, but I was so like traumatized from the experience I had to endure going to that event. It was the episode where they announced like the all women's pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
Just that
Evolution, was it called Evolution? Something.
Stephanie McMahon made the announcement.
Yeah.
Just a total horrible show to have to go.
Oh, I was at that one too. Yeah, that was the last part of Raw. I think that was the main event of the Raw.
Yeah,
Stephanie came out to it.
Main event of Raw. Remember
a major announcement.
Remember when wrestling actually had a main event? Like what happened to the main event? Like,
when it was actually spectacular back in the day.
Closing the show, like leaving the fans home, like happy, like two wrestlers, like heavyweight wrestlers, like.
They were actually looking at, I'm like, oh, a major announcement. And I'm like, I'm going to stay here for this major announcement. But that's the thing. They drew you in with a major announcement that really wasn't so major. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It wasn't spectacular. But no, when Moxley went by me. When Moxley walked by me, though, I'm like, oh, my. And you know what? You look at that whole arena. The one way he went up was right by me. Like, he could have went that way, this way, the other way. He goes right by me. Like, when Moxley ran by me, everyone's like, oh, my God, that's Seanzview Entertainment. Like, and I'm like, wow. They're like, oh, you should have done something. But then, the security and all the camera people like, oh, get out of the way, get out of the way. But I was close enough to be, like, within arm's length of him, literally.
But, yeah.
It was epic, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome, and the fact that you went, I should have went to that show, but
see, that would have been one you would have wanted to. And you know
to
what? That Raw was thorough that night. That was actually, I gotta honestly say, it was a good 4 out of 5 star Raw that night, especially when Dean Ambrose turned heel, and that was the night Roman Reigns announced he had cancer.
Yeah, and
of course, I can't stand people. Oh, that was a storyline. That was fake. No, Roman Reigns literally.
Yeah, he literally had
that little. Oh, he didn't lose his hair. He didn't lose this. He didn't lose much. No, he did lose a little muscle mass. He did lose a little mass. Obviously, he's getting it back now because he's back on the road. He's back training, lifting weights and all that. But no, I mean, people saying that he faked that
you
was
can't fake something like that.
No, do you? All right, even if the WWE had just to play devil's advocate, say if that was fake, do you know how bad PR the WWE would get off of that?
Yeah.
With the whole Connor's cure and the breast cancer and all that. Do you understand how bad the WWE would look if that was a storyline? Yeah. It would be terrible.
They're already getting a lot of bad PR because of the NXT wrestler.
Oh, this guy with the whole race thing. Oh, that guy, I'm sorry. Again, I got nothing against anybody, race, color, origin, religion, whatever. But that guy is just taking something. I don't know how he's not fired yet.
Yeah, I know.
Was it Jordan Miles?
Yeah.
Jordan
Miles,
To be honest with you, I never even heard of the damn guy.
I never heard of him.
I never heard of him.
But that's his gimmick, the smile, so it makes sense to be on the shirt, but then he took it to another level.
Oh, he took it way out of text, I'll tell you. Right out of context, I'll tell you.
Yeah. But what's your thoughts on Impact Wrestling TNA? I think, in my opinion, that this show is nothing compared to when it was TNA.
Oof.
And total nonstop action. Now it's just a shell of its former self.
Well, when the TNA, obviously, exactly, a shell of its former self. I mean, I watched TNA really a lot back, like when it was good, 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Same.
And that's when it was good, and that's when it was, watchable. And when who's the I can't think of his name right now, the singer of the Smashing Pumpkins,
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan. Now he had a vision for TNA, and when he had the Hardys in there, that was cool, that was compelling.
He got screwed over.
He got screwed. Now he could have made that show good.
Oh yeah.
They took him out of the picture. Now he's got NWA, and he's doing a hell of a damn good thing. Billy Corgan's doing masterful things. But no, TNA, ladies and gentlemen, is I don't know. Actually, I can almost say that the WWE is actually a little bit better than TNA is, because I don't even want, be honest with you, I don't even watch TNA right now because it got that bad. It got so bad to the point where I mean, Dixie Carter, is she even still?
No,
she's out of it. She's in WWE. I think she's backstage in WWE doing something.
She sold the company.
I saw her at WWE headquarters one day.
Yeah.
So like I don't even know what direction. I'm surprised TNA is still afloat. I don't even know how it's not sank already. I mean, everyone's been predicting the demise of Impact Wrestling for years and years and years, and we've all been in tears ever since. And we need to be brought back a smile, because I don't even watch the show no more. That's how terrible it's gotten. Again, it's nothing on the wrestlers. It's just the show is just incapable of watching.
Yeah, it came back. It had signs of coming back with Mike Bennett.
Yeah.
Also with the Hardys there.
The Broken Hardys, yep.
And that storyline with Decay.
Yep.
That was awesome. Decay, Crazy Steve.
Abyss, Abyss, Monster Ball, all that.
Had signs of coming back, but they failed to be able to re-sign.
Then you had Bruce Pritchard doing that whole, what was that thing when they had the wrestlers come in and they judged the athletes? I forgot what it was called, but that was a pretty cool concept when they had the guys and girls coming in and, see what they could do in the ring, and they judged them by the, the match or whatever. That was a pretty cool concept, but, I mean, Impact Wrestling, it's just, I don't know. I don't see it turning around now. I mean, because now you got AEW, you got NWA, you got Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I give TNA another couple of years, if that. And if they're still surviving, I don't think they'll be thriving by any means.
I think they need to go back to the TNA name. Like, they had some signs
and what is it, like a bird that's a logo or something? Some kind of like what kind of logo is that? Like, come on.
They had some signs of like showing potential. Also, they had Bobby Lashley and EC3, but they all left, and now it's not good. And but I did watch probably around like 2009, maybe around there. I remember seeing like Rhino, Christian Cage,
Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe,
yeah, the Main Event Mafia,
yeah,
Jeff Jarrett,
yep.
And
that's when Hogan and Flair were there. Sting,
yeah. And I remember I was watching TNA over Raw.
Were you see that
during the
when they did? Yeah, remember when they went head-to-head with Raw? That was a big mistake.
That was awesome.
It was awesome, but it was a mistake on their part because RVD, for them to think at that point, because 2010 was still all right. It was still okay for WWE, because then you got to understand at that time when they went head-to-head with Raw, you had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels making up in the ring after the screw job in '97 at the Survivor Series from Montreal, Quebec. So, like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, TNA's still in a good point right now, but the WWE has got more eyes on the product. So I'm like, well, is this going to really materialize? And as you saw, it only lasted, a month, a couple of weeks. I don't even know if it lasted that long. So, but no, TNA was still good in 2010. It just wasn't good enough to compete on a Monday night with WWE.
They did have the names Hogan, Bischoff, Ric Flair, AJ Styles.
Oh, they had a Hall of Fame list.
Yeah, they had like RVD versus I don't know who was it when he won the championship. Was it Jeff Hardy? Maybe I think Jeff Hardy versus RVD for the TNA
World Heavyweight title. Yeah,
and then the confetti coming.
Yep.
They had some big moments there.
Oh, they did. No, they definitely did. Legendary moments.
But Raw somehow got past.
Yeah, well, again, that was when Cena was there all the time, and that was when everyone's saying he was getting shoved down the throats. But yet the ratings were still showing that it was better than TNA, even though TNA at that time may have been put on a better product than the WWE was. And then Triple H was a COO of the company, and then he's relieving Vince McMahon of his duties, and there was some moments in 2000. I mean, like I said, CM Punk just needs to come back. But I know you're going to address that later on.
Yeah, we're going to address that. So, is it difficult having over 121,000 subscribers, and how do you handle the criticism and negative feedback from such a large audience that you have built?
Just by, what, I'll tell you what keeps me going. First, my daughter. That's the first thing that keeps me going. Second thing that keeps me going is my viewers and my subscribers, because I do deal with a lot of crap. See, everyone has this misconception about me that I'm this bad guy, that I got this big head, that I think I'm better than everybody. I'm on her show. I was on Cronin's show. When people meet me in person, they get a different vibe and feeling off of me. When I go on YouTube, yes, I do amp it up. Yes, I do, because if I'm, hey guys, this is Seanzviewent, like if I'm just like that, I'm not, it's not entertaining, it's not drawing you in.
Yeah.
But just dealing with it is, I do have a lot of haters, and that's why I've made moderators, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
I've made you a moderator in the room to control the war room.
Yeah,
I've made you a moderator, and so you can dominate those things, because no, it does get out of control. I'll tell you. I mean, I've had pizzas sent to my house. I've had death threats. I mean, sometimes I've like regretted being on YouTube, because I'm like, well, I didn't know that this came with the territory. But no, I guess when you become somewhat of a name on YouTube, and again, I don't see myself as a name nowadays as much as I did a couple of years ago, because of how YouTube has become so terrible with their notifications. Their bell system is just way out of sorts. There's just too many hoops and hurdles that you got to go through just to get a video. And if you do upload a video, sometimes you don't get it until 4 or 5 days later. But no, I've definitely dealt with my share of criticism and hate, and all I wanted to do was come on here and simply do one thing: talk about professional wrestling. And all of a sudden, Sean, you did storylines, you did angles. Well, the WWE did storylines and angles, and I never seen them get the kind of death threats that I received. I mean, it's out of control. People have this negative vibe about me, that I'm this terrible, horrible person. Petitions out about me, but I've overcome it all. I'm still sitting here, I'm still standing here, and I'm not standing here right now, but I'm sitting here, but I'm still breathing air, and I'm still talking. And I've said this since day one: as long as I have one viewer, one subscriber, one comment, I will remain on that website, no matter, despite the hate and the criticism. Listen, I'm open to criticism, but I do tell you what, the hate does get to a level where it's like, all right, enough is enough. But then again, I think about, well, I got fans, I got viewers, I got subscribers. So that's what keeps me going on YouTube, is because I really are invested into what they want to see and what they're all about. And they're all about the Sean's crew, is what we're calling it now, I guess, nowadays. So, and I, like I said, if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't continue YouTube, because I just wouldn't put up with that kind of hate and that kind of backlash and that kind of situation if I didn't have the subscribers and the fans that I did.
So you currently have 121,000 subscribers on YouTube.com.
Yep.
And you were the first to actually reach over 100,000 subscribers out of
Wrestle Talk TV, who I know have far surpassed me. Yeah, I was the first to over everybody, really. JD,
Joe
I mean,
Cronin, myself,
everybody. I'll be honest. I know Dave Meltzer and all those wrestling dirt sheets. They started it online. I was the first ever individual to bring rumors and news and headlines to YouTube. I was the first, and I'm not here to gloat and be, oh yeah, I did that, but I was the first to do it, and that's the bottom line. I mean, what you want to talk about facts? The evidence and the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Bottom line is I was the first one on YouTube, and that's why I think I grew such a monumental fan base, because I brought the rumors and the news and the headlines first to YouTube, and now everybody else has taken it, and some people have got bigger than me, they've got more views than me, they've got more subscribers than me, but the fact of the matter is that I did it first. I reached 100,000 subscribers first, and I have claim to that credit, that I can actually take those accolades and say I was the first.
And you did it on your own, by yourself, uploading videos consistently to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think about having over 80 million views, like total views on your channel? Like, the fact that you have that many eyes that have seen your videos, is that like? And
even though my views aren't up to par of what they used to be because of the algorithm and YouTube being stupid, bottom line isn't how they've changed the whole site altogether. To have 80 million is 80 million. I haven't checked it out. 80 million views.
Is that shocking to you? That
bro, I'll tell you, when I first started YouTube, and like you said, 2010, it was 10, and it wasn't about wrestling then. But then 2012 is when it really started. I thought I was just going to be some guy that talked about wrestling. And then I knew, again, I knew I was positive in my own self that I could do better than some of these other people that were talking about wrestling. I would have more passion, more enthusiasm, more emotion, and that would be my focus. But no, did I ever dream about having the subscriber base? Did I ever dream that I would have the kind of views that I did on YouTube? No, I never did. And to make it a job, of course, I've since lost my partnership, but that wasn't my fault that it went out of business, Machinima. Rest in peace to Machinima, by the way, because they did do a lot of good things for me. Machinima was a class act. They were a great company to work with and work for and be with. But now I'm doing it alone. I mean, I got my viewers, my fans, and my subscribers. Thank God with their super chat donations, because without that, I probably, who knows. But
yeah.
But no, the monetization is just plummeted right down the toilet. That's why Machinima did me well. I mean, they really gave me the highest percentage. I was getting a good cut of the money. Now it's just crap. But no, I'm so appreciative. I am so appreciative, because again, when I started talking about wrestling, and again, I knew I was positive in my and what I could do. I never thought I would have reached the kind of fan base. I never thought in a million years I would have reached over 80 million views, and that's still a testament to the Brash and the Brazen Seanzviewent Entertainment in 2019. Again, I know my views aren't what they used to be, but still the proof shows what I used to get and what I hopefully will get in the future.
Exactly. And just the fact that you've had that much success, I mean, you're being seen that many times by viewers, subscribers, even just people looking for news. It's a impressive accomplishment to just be out there that much and getting your face seen by new eyes every day. And you're known around the wrestling business.
Yeah, I am. And you know what it is? It's funny because, again, I don't see myself as a celebrity. I will go out places and people will say, "Is that Seanzview?" I've had people ask for my autograph. I've had people take pictures with me. I've made some friends, legitimate friends off YouTube. And when people come up to me and say, "Oh my God, dude, I watch your content," and it's mostly like kids that are like 13, 14. I've had a couple older, well, obviously Joe Cronin has come up to me. But I mean, people from anywhere from teens into their 20s, 30s. I had one guy who was in his 50s come up to me. He had to be in his 50s, maybe late 40s, come up to me. "Dude, I watch your content, bro. You're such an inspiration, and my kids watch you." And and it's like I don't see myself as this big YouTuber.
But you are.
But I am, and like, because I don't put myself on like a high level. I don't put myself on like King Corbin. I don't put myself like that. But no, when people come up to me, I almost forget. I'm like, "Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm that guy on YouTube." And I just never thought people would come up to me and say, "That's Seanzview." Like that means that, like, you can't put that into words.
So when I first planned out this interview, I was going to ask you any potential plans to work with Joe Cronin again, because your podcast with him was so great and successful, and it was one of the best things I think you were able to do, because you guys just got on there and talked wrestling, and it was a long podcast where you guys got to have a conversation, because that's a lot of the criticism you get, is that it's a short video, but you're giving people updates on the current topics and news. But sometimes once
work
in a
around
while,
the clock.
It's cool to just get in-depth conversation about wrestling, the current news, all together in one long podcast. So I was gonna ask you any plans to work with Joe Cronin again, but you have since made up and called into his show. Things are going good with you guys, so I think it would be awesome if you and him were on Out of Nowhere together. I think that team of you and him would be great for the viewers, subscribers, and just all around good content. Two wrestling fans talking together about what's going on weekly.
Yeah, to and for the wrestling fans, exactly. Because you see, me and Joe Cronin have been very stop and go, on and off. And I called into his show the other night, and we're talking, and we're going to get the ball rolling on that. And tonight it's monetized this. But I want me and Joe to do a show, just me and him exclusively, because everyone has been wanting it, because me and him gel so well, which I'll be honest with you, and me are gelling pretty well too. We might want to think about doing a show. But yeah, me and Cronin, bro, I mean, Cronin is an extraordinary talker. He's very entertaining. He's, I've done some outrageous things. He's done some outrageous things. We both are definitely cut from the same mold. We definitely have went over and out. We have went above and beyond the Call of Duty. And a lot of fans do love me and Cronin together, because, again, we mesh well together. And people want to see that. And you know what? We're going to give those people that. And again, it might start off slow, but at least we're not on bad terms. At least we're not, trashing each other like we used to and saying all these words and these terrible things. But again, it's all about also being entertaining and throwing, viewers a curve and a swerve, the Russo swerve. And, I mean, me and Joe could do incredible things together. The thing about it is we have to do it, and we have to stick to it. We have to stick with it, and we have to go with what we know. And, again, when we talk, we know what we're talking about. We know the history. We know the basis. And again, Cronin is an extraordinary talent. I would love to work with him, and hopefully me and him can work together, and we can get everything sorted out. And again, just that monetized this was an incredible show. And when I went on there, I mean, I received about at least 50 messages, and the comment section was blowing up. The views were blowing up. People were like, yeah, Cronin and Seanzview back together again. They never thought they would see this day. But again, viewers, never say never in the wrestling business. So yeah, as far as me and Joe Cronin go, I hope we come up with a show. I hope we come up with a concept. I hope we stick with it. And hopefully the future looks bright for me and him. Hopefully the future's so bright that we're going to have to wear shades.
Yeah, he's a genuine dude. I met him before AEW in Boston. We did the podcast. And second show ever. He's just all around good person.
Yep, he is.
And just cool to hang out with. I mean, the podcast that we did was just awesome. It flowed great.
Yep.
Like today with you here, and so like Joe Cronin, what he does on his channel, like giving people good wrestling podcast news.
Yep.
He's definitely got talent, and he's also worked as a commentator for promotions.
Yep. Top rope. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he can someday maybe land a job with AEW.
Yeah, well, I mean, I it's definitely, I mean, the talent's there, just like the talent's there for me, the talent's there for you. I mean, we could all be a part of history, we could all be a part of the business, but, you know, as I said right now, I mean, I wouldn't want to leave, you know, what I've built here on YouTube.com with my viewers, my subscribers, and my fans, and, you know, I've built a reputation now, and, you know, bad reputation. Ronda Rousey, when she returned, I think she's returned for the Royal Rumble, that would be cool, but, yeah, Ronda Rousey was in the main event of WrestleMania. You know, the thing about that is, and not to switch topics real quick, but Ronda Rousey, you know, she was in the main event of WrestleMania. I just want to say this year, they're talking about her returning for the Royal Rumble. I just want to say, I hope she doesn't, I hope we don't have nothing against the woman. I just hope that this year's WrestleMania coming up, there's not another woman's main event. But, yeah, as far as like you, me, or Cronin, you know, working for the company, I mean, again, we have the passion, you know, we have the loyalty, we have the trust, we have the commitment, the blood, sweat, and tears, as they talk about. And, yeah, I could see Cronin there. I could see you, me. I could see anybody going there that, you know, has what it takes to get the job done, and we definitely have what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah, we all have the mindset of what it takes to make wrestling or a wrestling company successful.
Exactly.
And just get the job done, whatever they need, creative,
Yep.
interviewing,
Booking, whatever it is.
commentating,
Talent.
match planning, like you said,
Yep.
booking, creative storylines. So
Exactly.
yeah, and what's your thoughts, to change the subject? I mean, we talked about how when you were in that moment with Dean Ambrose at Raw, you were criticized for it by a certain individual, and you and him have had a lot of feuding between each other through videos back and forth. I mean, one of the greatest clips that was, I find, pretty entertaining, but was just pretty funny between you and him on Out of Nowhere. JD from New York, what are your thoughts on him? You did a video where you what was it, like took a shot at him and responded to him, and so like, what are your views on the guy? Because it's pretty just it's pretty funny, because it's like a real life storyline between you guys.
Me and him really, I mean, well, I can't say I hate the guy, because I don't know the guy.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so like, so did you say he criticized me for Dean Ambrose walking by me or something?
He's like, what did he say?
He had something on Twitter. Clowns View. Yeah, Clowns View Entertainment. Yeah, No Views Entertainment. Clowns View Entertainment. You know, this guy takes shots after shots, and sometimes he'll do it in a subliminal way where he's not actually mentioning my name, but yet he'll be mocking me. Oh, like, you know he's talking about me. You know he's, you know, I don't know what. Again, yes, he's really morphed into himself. He's got what it is now he's got all these views and all these subscribers. He's got a big ego. It's going to his head. Even Joe Cronin even said, like, he got along better with me. Cronin said, he admitted this. He got along better with me than he did JD, because JD has got this ego that he thinks he's above of everybody else. I'll tell you what, right now, bro, I can guarantee you JD would not be sitting in this seat talking to you right now. I don't think he'd give you that opportunity, because he's got such a big ego that, and you know what he does? I love what he does. He blocks people because if they don't agree with him, he'll block you like that.
Like, these are his viewers, his subscribers that are giving him money to Patreon.
He's making, this guy's making thousands upon thousands a month.
And you're blocking
him.
People giving you money like
Listen,
that.
I understand there's a point, because I understand hate. Believe me, nobody knows more about hate than me. And I get that. But there's a certain point where you got to be like, all right, bro, you got to sit back and you got to reflect and you got to really take in what you're getting. Just the money alone. Just the money alone. I mean, the money he's getting paid, you should deal with a certain amount of hate and criticism. Listen, I've said it since day one. I will block people if they start talking about my personal life, my daughter and stuff. When they go over the line, I block you. But if you disagree with me, agree with me, you're on the side of the fence with me, whatever, you know, I'm not going to block you for a difference in opinion. Or, oh, you like that wrestler? Oh, well, I don't like him. I'm going to block you now.
He's like, you're a complete idiot, benched. Like, come on, you don't block someone for that.
No, has he blocked you yet? No, he hasn't blocked you yet. Okay.
But maybe after this interview.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I actually would like to interview him if he would want to.
I'd be surprised. Again, I'm not saying completely no, but I'd be honest. I mean, I'd be surprised if he did. I mean, it would be good for your show. It would be good for him. Again, I'm here to help everybody else. I don't think JD is a person that wants to help everybody else. I mean, good Lord, if he gave someone a shout out. Oh, forget. I mean, a shout out. Geez, that might be too much to ask. I think I'm probably blocked. I think I'm blocked. I mean, I mean, I don't know what went off the road for me and him, JD. I mean, again, I used to watch his show. I mean, I still admittedly say I do watch clips and snippets of his show because I can't sit through a whole hour of his show. I just can't do it. You know, and I can't see all his subscribers doing that either. I'll be honest. Yeah, and you know, I mean, look at all the ads he puts in the like ad after ad, and I know that's where you make the money. I understand it. I get it. I understand the concept.
But you got to do it.
But you got to do what you got to do to make money. I do the same thing in his position because the bottom line is he can talk about how he's bigger than me and better than me, more viewers and more money now. But he's got to understand that I was the first one before him that got to 100,000. I was the one that brought rumors and news. As a matter of fact, he's the one that admitted me to it in email, and I'll forever save this in my phone. That his concept of his show was based off of me.
Yeah,
I was the blueprint. He said it. I was the blueprint of his show, and that's what he did. Of course, he made the videos longer. So, and it worked for him because now look at what he's doing. And congratulations. Hey, listen, I'm not here to say I'm jealous. I mean, he thinks I'm jealous. He thinks that I got, he thinks that I'm like, oh, God, JD. And I, you know what? Even to this day, I still don't think he's got more subscribers than me. He's got more viewers than me, but I still don't think he's got more subscribers than me. But, again, that's not nor here or there. The fact is, you want to have an ego. You want to do what you want to do. You know, if it's working for you, you want to block people for not agreeing with you. You know what? We live in a very messed up, sick world in 2019. This world is just never been the same. But you know what? JD, he's doing what's right for him. And if he thinks that's right for him, hey, more power to him. But I might not agree with a lot of things he's done. I know he's not agreed with a lot of things I've done. We've both done things. We've both made mistakes. We've both done things that we regret. But at the end of the day, if you're going to block someone for an opinion because they don't agree with you and you have this high ego and you're in this big head that you're better than everybody, that's why him and Joe, I think, are not even as close as they used to be.
No, I think what he's trying to do is take his brand of Off the Script to Sirius XM, kind of like Sam Roberts.
Yeah, and that's a good goal and that's a good dream. And if he does it, I wouldn't be surprised because he's got the viewership. He's been interviewing pretty high prospects. He's been doing a good job. I'm gonna give him his props. I'm gonna give him his props right on the show. But the fact of the matter is like there's no denying the guy's got an ego times hell. You know?
Yeah, you just don't turn on people that have helped you. Like Joe Cronin introduced him into the business.
I think Joe Cronin's the reason why he's actually as big as he is, to be honest with you.
Glory. He's doing commentary with them, and he's doing exclusive sit-down interviews, kind of like Michael Cole, which I would like to do someday, and if I get the chance and opportunity. But so, like, for him to just turn on someone who's helped you with the out of nowhere brand and just introduce
got him
you
off
to
the ground.
business, got him going. Like,
No, I agree. You know what? That's actually what kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. It really does, because Cronin and him did a show. It was out of nowhere. Like you said, it was out of nowhere. I was on the show a couple of times when they did it. And now, Joe Cronin's got another co-host now that's a hell of a lot more respectful. And he's not bitter, and he's not got this big ego on his head. And, it's just... I don't know where JD, again, I think the subscribers and the viewership went to his level. I mean, I remember just a couple of days ago, Joe Cronin showing clips from JD saying, oh, well, I got my own car, and I got my own this, and I got my own that, and you'll never have this, and you'll never have that. Mustangs and all this, and you can't even pay your car, and all this other crap. And like, dude, like, just leave the guy alone. How do you know his business? First of all, mind your own business.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy helped you out. And if it weren't for Cronin, and if it weren't for me doing rumors and news, JD wouldn't be where he is now. Because, again, JD, his concept, I don't know if people know this or not. Again, I'll say it again because there might be some new viewers, some new subscribers here. I came up with the rumors and the news on YouTube first, and then JD again. If so, Cronin and me, and he might not even give us the credit for it, but that's nor here or there. He's got his little ego, and he's going to keep going with it.
So right now, I think is the closest we've got to a CM Punk return. He's stated it multiple times that he would be open to a return if the money is there, and if it's a lot of money, which is now not like impossible.
No, with the Saudi Arabia deal, Fox,
Crown Jewel, getting paid millions of dollars per match. Goldberg, others, Tyson Fury, just millions of dollars
just to show up and wrestle.
So say they cut a couple big cost wrestlers, save some money, and then offer it for a year deal with CM Punk.
1.5 trillion. No.
Limited appearances. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility of happening and going down and getting the deal done, because he's obviously open to it if he's appearing on all these podcasts and making appearances. Like, he's never made appearances when he was with UFC, very limited. Now it seems like he's on a different podcast every day, and So basically, the question I'm getting at is why is there so much criticism surrounding you regarding CM Punk returns, because you report so many videos, but the fact is that this is all legitimate news. If you search wrestling news and rumors articles,
dirt sheets.
Yeah, like I've been watching.
Even yesterday, you admitted.
I've been searching nodq.com like since I was in middle school when I got into wrestling, and I still use it today. And yeah, so I first got into wrestling 2008, 22 right now, and I'm going to the same website, NoDQ, for wrestling news. You'll see CM Punk says this, CM Punk does that, and you report the news as it is on
word for word, for verbatim, and I'm giving my commentary and criticism on the fair use of it, and people are like, oh, that's a clickbait, man, this and that, like, oh, you're just trying to drive your viewership and you're trying to drive money up. And yesterday I said in the room, CM Punk's music was playing outside Saudi Arabia. No, it's not. No, it's not in there. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It was right there.
You know, so that could have been a return. I mean, there's never been a time, and I know we've been talking about this for 5 years, a CM Punk return, CM Punk returning. And that's the thing. I promise. Listen, I promise the viewers, I promise the subscribers, I promise the entire world that when CM Punk left the WWE in 2014 via chokeslam by Kane through a table, that was the end of CM Punk, right? I said since day one when he left the company that I was going to be there for every update, every rumor. I don't care if it was fake, or I don't care if it was reported, I was going to bring it up. If it was talked about, I was going to do it. And ever since 2014, I was a man of my word. I said I was going to be there every time there was an update on CM Punk. And ever since I've done a CM Punk returns update, all there has been is there's been a lot of hate. There's been a lot of criticism. There's been a lot of backlash. Heck, there's almost been riots about me doing updates on CM Punk. But when I promise something, I show up on it. When I guarantee something, I bring it to the bank. So, and again, people want to hate on me for bringing up updates about credible news. And again, you've said you found the articles, you found the websites. Everyone's going to crap all over me because, oh, well, he's just trying to, drive viewership up. He's trying to clickbait everybody. He's trying to lead everyone in another direction. But the bottom line is, the fact of the matter is I said I was going to bring up every update on CM Punk. No, and again, I don't control the rumors. I'm not the dirt sheets. I'm not the websites. Yes, I report on the websites and the dirt sheets, but it's not me making it up. It's not me typing up. It's not coming from the mind of SeanzView Entertainment. What I'm doing is I'm giving my commentary, my criticism, and most importantly, I'm giving my view, because after all, the show is called SeanzView Entertainment. So I'm giving my view of the rumors, the news, and headlines, not only on CM Punk, but all of professional wrestling. But ever since I've done that, there's been a lot of hate, there's been a lot of criticism, and it's been very dictated to the point where it's actually gotten to sick levels. But no. Until CM Punk returns, and he will return. It's not a matter of if.
It's when.
It's when. When he does return, yeah, I am going to say, yeah, I told you so, but I'm not going to have like a big ego and a big head and say, oh, haha, I told you for 5. Well, Sean out of 1,000 updates finally got it right. Again, I don't just do these CM Punk updates just to get views or money. I do it because it's reported. It's online. And that's what people don't get. Oh, and then I'll send them the link, and they'll say, oh, the link's broken. Oh, I can't get it. Oh, my laptop shut off. Oh, my battery went dead. Like, they'll come up with something, and I'm like, bro, I'm showing you the link. I'm showing you the proof. I'm showing you the evidence. But you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that isn't real. Oh, he hasn't returned yet, Sean. Well, that's not my fault. The WWE changes plans all the time. Monday Night Raw gets changed all the time. I can't dictate. If I say tonight, if it was a Monday night tonight, that tonight we're going to see Shelton Benjamin versus Roman Reigns, and then all of a sudden the show goes on the air. Oh, well, Sean, it's not Shelton Benjamin versus Roman Reigns. It's going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. You lied. I don't change the WWE. Yeah. I give what's reported. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's the chance I take. And you know what? I am willing to face the kind of backlash, but sometimes it goes to so intense levels that it's a little bit over the edge.
Yeah, CM Punk has been doing so many appearances now, and also he stated that he would rather go back to WWE versus going to AEW. He's criticized AEW.
He's actually
called them out. He said at the StarCast event that he would be willing to go back to WWE if they would reach out to him.
Yeah, he said he would answer the call. He said he would answer the call. Now, we have not heard CM Punk say that in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now in 19, he's finally admitting, I'll take the call if it's the right money. I think what he would want at the end of the day is a part-time deal. He would want a WrestleMania main event, win the Royal Rumble, win the WWE title, and have limited appearances. Probably not even appear at house shows. Just have limited appearances, limited pay-per-view appearances, and he deserves it because CM Punk, literally, without even being in the business right now, is the most over and talked about wrestler in 2019 to this day. And that's the way it is, because that's how credible and reliable and popular. That's how legit. That's how legit CM Punk is, the best in the world. And I'm not talking about Shane McMahon.
last question. What's to come from SeanzView Entertainment?
What's the future, Sean? Well, the future is going to be what I've always been, prolific, consistent, and dedicated. And maybe Joe Cronin is going to be in the future SeanzView Entertainment. I hope he is, because, again, me and him gel so well. We have such chemistry together. And, a very big thing, again, lacking in the WWE chemistry. Legitimacy, incredible. But no, SeanzView Entertainment is, as I said, since day one, here for the subscribers, with the subscribers. The future of me is I've been doing a lot more live streaming. I've been doing a lot more. Yesterday I went a whole 4 hours and some five minutes. I don't know how long it was, but it was over 4 hours. Then I did another live stream with Bray Wyatt winning the Universal title, because that was breaking news. That was exploding news all over the world, because the Fiend Bray Wyatt finally deserved his time to shine under those bright lights. But no, the future for SeanzView Entertainment is, I hope that, well, I'm going to keep being SeanzView Entertainment. I'm going to keep being prolific, consistent, and dedicated. I'm going to keep being updated. I'm going to keep giving the viewers and the subscribers what they want. If someday I, decide to, reach out and do, content on, I don't know, TMZ, or report on sports. But right now, primarily, my focus right now is doing what I'm doing on my channel since day one. And that's why I have 100,000 subscribers, is because I stood to what I did on YouTube. I my word, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do on that website to create SeanzView Entertainment. And I have created that off of my viewers and off of my subscribers. So as it concerns being interrupted again, SeanzView Entertainment is here for the viewers and the subscribers, and the bottom line is there ain't going to be no change of what I'm going to do or what I'm going to look like or what I'm going to act like. I'm going to be the same SeanzView, and I'm going to bring it for each and every one of you.
Thanks for coming on.
Great interview. Pleasure to be here, bud.
Pleasure having you on.